My favorite story about air pollution was my cousin who lives in New Delhi, who every time he would visit here would always want to look out at the stars because the pollution was so bad that he'd never seen it in 25 years of his life until COVID, and they had to shut down manufacturing facilities, and he said for the first time you could see the sky. In terms of the environment, air pollution is one of the leading environmental disasters. Our goal is to empower people with information so that they can make appropriate decisions as well as remedy the problems that exist with air pollution.
I'm Anna Giaquinto. I am the co-founder and CEO of GUAQ.
And I'm Neil Single, and I'm the co-founder and CFO.
GUAQ stands for Globally Unified Air Quality, and we are striving to make air quality monitoring as affordable and accessible as possible for all regions around the world. I grew up in Buffalo, New York, across the river from a bituminous coal plant that emitted about 9 times the amount of benzene than what was reported to the EPA. This actually resulted in higher cancer levels in my community compared to the rest of the state. So watching how this impacted my family, friends, and neighbors, I wanted to empower other people around the world with the data and tools they needed to advocate for change.
My family, and where a majority of them live now, is New Delhi, India, which was the world's most polluted city for almost 10 years. Just seeing how air pollution has affected students going to school, people going to work, and the entire transportation system. My goal is to be able to provide access to air quality information like that city.
So a group of us at Georgetown met at the Innovation Lab on campus, and because of our personal backgrounds in air quality, we got to talking about the inaccessibility of existing devices, usually that they're really unaffordable, and they rely on Wi-Fi and fixed power sources, which really limits their use cases in rural areas and developing regions. This is GUAQ's first version of our prototype, and it's basically just made out of a plastic board. But what we noticed when we first designed it is we had so much space to be able to expand and utilize for more sensors. So that's why we came up with this design. Rather than having all of these wires and being able to snap in on a place like that, we decided to design the new device in a way that would utilize all of the space we have on hand to be able to measure even more pollutants in the air. When you're using a GUAQ monitor, all you have to do is turn it on, plug it into a power outlet, take out your mobile phone and connect it to the Wi-Fi. It takes only about 2 minutes and it'll start measuring right then and there. And you can look on the mobile app in real time to see what your pollutant levels are.
The broad goal of GUAQ is to empower people with the information about the air that they're breathing. Beyond just the general information of pollutants in the air, we also help people understand how they can adjust their commutes, as well as being able to pick certain times of the day to perform activities. And in terms of the environment, it falls on the organizations and corporations that have emission sources. So we want to show organizations and companies how they can still have good air and healthy environments in their buildings while keeping their carbon footprint as low as possible.
When we first started GUAQ, it was an outside project, and after winning pitch competitions and grants and seeing how people really cared about the technology, it helped us realize it could be a real business. And looking at the differences between what we first came up with versus where we are now with such little funding shows the potential that we could have and where we could take this next device to the next iteration.
This is a silent and invisible killer. People just don't know about it until it's too late. But what's really exciting is that this is a problem that we can solve. We've seen so many examples of grassroots organizations, companies, and even just local communities that have found ways to improve their air, find ways to be able to provide the information, and then reach out. So the ultimate impact working on GUAQ is hopefully one corporation, one organization will make a decision to try to get in this fight, and I think that can start the ball rolling of ultimately reducing it to net zero.
Information is power, and GUAQ provides people with that information. The first step to empowering people to actually care about their air quality and then take action to improve it.